I can totally explain this, I swear. Despite what the beginning of this video suggests, consuming coffee is something that relaxes me, an important part of my morning routine. And if YouTube has taught me anything, it's that I suck at making and drinking coffee. See, I've always considered myself a relatively low-maintenance coffee drinker. I don't add cream or milk because, well, lactose intolerance. And this is where I blame YouTube. I noticed that everyone loved talking about their coffee.
I use this large Chemex.
I really love coffee, which is probably too similar to Peter.
Folks, you just witnessed the first cup of coffee of 2018.
Some even brewed it in a chemistry set. Like seriously, what the f is that thing? Until this point, I thought of myself as someone who appreciated the finer things. I enjoyed a well-aged whiskey, and I loved a well-cared-for steak. But now I was embarrassed. I was lost. I was the guy in the erectile dysfunction commercial. Well, what could I do? In keeping with my recent love affair with minimalism, I had to ask myself, what value would be added to my life by a next-level cup of coffee? And when I start asking myself questions, the answers can take a while. So let's just cut to ordering what I needed to get started. I said, cut to ordering what I needed to get started. Yes, thank you. So, what happened when I watched a few YouTube videos on how to actually use this stuff?
We're sorry, all circuits are busy.
Pretty good. Yes, it's that time again. We talk, okay? Direct style. No edits. Well, that's not entirely true. I'll probably edit out a lot of this stuff. A couple things I just wanted to talk about briefly because for me, again, this channel is all about learning. So how about a little reflection period? Lessons learned. First, my wife did a wonderful job filming all of the scenes where I was gyrating and pelvic thrusting with a Chemex. Yes, she filmed that because I couldn't find a friend to actually help me, and I didn't want to have everything locked off on a tripod because I'm a big believer in mixing up shots and getting some camera movement, even if it's basic. And she did awesome. She also hasn't seen the finished sort of video yet, and I guess stay tuned for video number 3 where I tell you if I'm still married or sleeping on the couch or even have a home. Just for the creative community out there, especially the No Small Creator group, I kind of like making these things and then, as you can tell briefly, just sort of reflecting on what I learned. This video, Like I said, a blast to make. I had a really good time. It took longer than I thought to create. And I'm fine with it. I really am. I got a lot of great feedback on my first video. And one of the comments in particular that stuck to me a little bit was more of a sort of a strategy comment about finding my voice, becoming more comfortable, and once I niche down, you know, things might take off. And I agree with that, but I do think it's important for me, for myself, to just remember that I'm not putting videos on YouTube to create a brand or to grow or to make money or really any specific reason other than I want to get better at this, right? I want to get better. When I put a video out, I want to learn something from the process. I want to learn how to edit to music better, to record sound, to record, you know, use my gear, better camera movement, transitions, editing, to tell a better story, to start with a very simple idea, flesh it out, even if it's 3 minutes, and go. And I think video to video, giving myself sort of these short little assignments, in this case, hey, I felt like YouTube taught me that I sucked at coffee, so go with it. And I learned a lot in this process because I tried to sit down and conceptualize and write every single little thing. And I think sometimes it's important that we just say, listen, I don't have it. I can't brainstorm and sort of think of every little pitfall or every little idea or shot that I need. I can think of most of them, but I think it's important sometimes to just go shoot, take that footage, dump it on your computer, and just come up with a rough outline and think of building the video as a painting or a sculpture or an illustration. A plan is good, but I think in this case I learned I can't plan for everything. Another takeaway that I think moving forward is something that I'm gonna shoot for is I think that I'm totally cool with uploading monthly, at least for the foreseeable future. I may upload some different type of videos, maybe some sit-down stuff like this, but one of the things that I struggled with last year, I had a previous YouTube channel, had about 25 videos on it, and I didn't like it. I didn't like doing it. I liked the process of editing and uploading, but there was something about my work that I wasn't enjoying, and I didn't feel like it was improving. So I think part of that was expectations. And I had an expectation that I would upload weekly, even with a full-time job. And at the time, my wife and I were trying to get pregnant. We were going through some things. So I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I didn't realize it because I was like, I have no kids. I have no reason not to upload weekly. And what it was doing was forcing me to sort of put out content that I wasn't necessarily proud of and didn't feel like I was building a body of work. So I think that if I just commit to monthly, that gives me some flexibility to take my time. And this might sound crazy because you see a lot of this on YouTube. I'd rather have my work be as close to my best than just done. And I've never tried to do that. So I figured, what the hell? I'll try to do it now. That's cool. Let's get this thing over with. So I've been rambling too much here, but too much coffee today. The final thing that I wanted to say, the last thing I wanted to tackle was, did buying this stuff and learning about how to make pour over coffee in a different fancy way, did it change my life? Did it make it better? It was fun. You know, it was an experience. And I think that's the most important thing is I just wanted to say, if it wasn't obvious, that I didn't buy these things and make this video or attempt to drink my coffee differently so I could be like other people. I think that what watching other folks did was kind of put an idea in my head like, wow, I didn't know this was out there. I like coffee. That looks cool. Let me try that. And I think as I get a little bit older, I'm really into just trying new things. I'll always research things before I try them. But in this case, seeing some of these videos, wondering what the hell I was looking at, and then just figuring like, hey, I like coffee, maybe it is better. So I want to try it. I want to be a more well-rounded human being. Let's do this. Plus, I still blame YouTube for causing me to buy another small kitchen appliance that I have to convince my wife I'll find a spot for in the kitchen. And here's a big thanks to YouTube, by the way, for finding fresh and exciting ways of making me feel inadequate, like I'm missing out.